What's good, YouTube? So today I'm bringing you my stun deck profile. The last time I did post one of these, I got a lot of comments, mainly questions asking why play stun, why make it so your opponent cannot play the game, why make it unfair for your opponent, why make it unfun for your opponent. Well, the answer to that is very simple.
Why? Because fuck them, that's why.
So with that in mind, I'm just gonna go straight into the deck profile. Very simple linear deck. If you've played stun before, you know what it entails. So to start off, we have 3 Fossil Dynas. When this card is on the field, nobody is allowed to special summon. He's also a decent going second option as well, because if this card is flipped face up, destroy all special summon monsters on the field. Kind of control the board state with the floodgate and not allowing your opponent to special summon. He's pretty much one of the best stun cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! So of course you want to max out and play 3 of them. Then we're also playing 3 barrier statues. So with barrier statue, unless you're going against Marincess or Mermail, he's pretty much the next best card because nobody else really plays water monsters. So when he's on the field, nobody can special summon aside from water monsters. Then one of the only complicated cards in the deck, I guess if you want to call it complicated, one of the only combos you are going to have to learn with this specific deck is DOGMATIKA Ecclesia the Virtuous. If you summon her, she has a 1500 attack, 1500 defense. She cannot be destroyed by any monster that was special summoned from the extra deck. So she's kind of a little bit of a floodgate as well. Then if you are going second, she's also a decent going second card because if a monster special summon from the extra deck is on the field, you can special summon this card from your hand. Then if this card is normal special summon, you can activate this effect and add 1 DOGMATIKA card from your deck to your hand. So we pretty much use her to go into our DOGMATIKA punishment. It is one of the best trap cards we have in the deck. We're also running Nadir Servant. It is one of our only going second cards, and it is one of the reasons why the deck is viable because of the DOGMATIKA engine and Nadir Servant. So Nadir Servant states, send 1 monster from your extra deck to the graveyard, then add 1 DOGMATIKA monster. Then for the rest of the turn, we cannot special summon from the extra deck. So we do not worry about that with the stun deck. Every card in the extra deck is primarily just utility for Nadir Servant. So with this, we're gonna go ahead, you use this to grab our DOGMATIKA Ecclesia, and we can always send, you're gonna wanna send your Garura, because then when a Garura gets sent to the graveyard, we can draw a card. So use Nadir Servant, send Garura, Nadir Servant can then resolve, getting us our DOGMATIKA Ecclesia to our hand, and then by pitching the Garura, we can then draw a card. So we're basically going +1, adding the Ecclesia, and then getting the draw from the Garura. Then also, normal or special summon our DOGMATIKA Ecclesia. We then add our DOGMATIKA Punishment. So again, that's one of the best trap cards in our deck. Just might as well show the complete DOGMATIKA package. So we have 2 DOGMATIKA Ecclesia, 3 Nadir Servant. Then we have DOGMATIKA Punishment. So we're going to go ahead and we would always set DOGMATIKA Punishment. Target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls. Then we can go ahead and send 1 monster with an equal or higher attack from your extra deck to the graveyard. And if you do, destroy that monster. Then again, the same lock as all the other DOGMATIKA cards. We cannot special summon from the extra deck, which we do not care about. So with this, you're usually going to want to go ahead. You could send Garura. We want to max on Garura, so you could send Garura if you have a 1500 attack. If your opponent just normal summoned a monster, a lot of the monsters are 1500 or lower, you can send this, destroy that, and then also get a draw. Or if your opponent has 2 cards, you're always going to want to send Outer Entity Entis. This is a card we play 3 of as well, because when this card gets sent to the graveyard, so DOGMATIKA Punishment gets to pop 1 card, then we can activate Outer Entity by sending it to the graveyard with DOGMATIKA Punishment. Outer Entity gets to resolve in the graveyard and destroy another card on the field. So you can destroy a back row, destroy a monster. So DOGMATIKA Punishment can pretty much destroy 2 cards when you send Outer Entity Entis. So that's all the monsters we're going to be playing in the deck. We have 8 monsters and then a 3, 6, 8 card little mini DOGMATIKA package as well, not including the extra deck. So now just going in some defensive spell cards we have. Clockwork Knight and 2 Moon Mirror Shields. When we normal summon our Fossil Dyna, we can attach our Moon Mirror Shield to Fossil Dyna, and then Moon Mirror Shield pretty much gives our Fossil Dyna the protection that since it has a low attack of 1200, Moon Mirror Shield is attached to Fossil Dyna. It can pretty much beat over any monster because it makes the attack of Fossil Dyna 100 more than any monster it is attacking. Then it also has another effect. If Moon Mirror Shield ends up going to the graveyard, you can pay 500 life points and put it on top of your deck. Then Clockwork Knight, he makes all of our monsters attack go up 500, attack and defense. Then it also is another floodgate because it makes all monsters on the field become machine monsters. Then we have Pot of Extravagance, 3 Pot of Dualities, and Card of Demise. So this actually should be Pot of Prosperity. So think of it as Pot of Prosperity because I haven't pulled my Pot of Prosperity from my other decks. But I'm going to replace this. And then 3 Pot of Dualities, pretty much look at the top 3 cards of your deck. Pot of Prosperity, look at the top 6 cards of your deck. And then Card of Demise, since we set so many cards, you're usually going to set 4, normal summon 1, have an empty hand. Then you can use Card of Demise and then draw another 3 cards. A very unfair card and one of the only few decks that can play it. Then to finish out our spells, we have 3 Decisive Battle of Golgonda. So this is one of the other cards that makes our deck viable. It pretty much gives your entire back row protection, and it gives your stun monster protection as well. It states, once per turn, if a card you control would be destroyed by battle or card effects, you can send 1 fusion monster that mentions Fallen of Albaz as material from your extra deck to the graveyard. So you use this, and then go ahead and send your Titaniclad, which we run 3 of in the extra deck. You send Titaniclad to the graveyard, and then you protect all of your monsters. Not only are you protecting your monsters, then you can go ahead and activate Titaniclad during the end phase. You can special summon or add to your hand 1 Dogmatika monster. So you're going to go ahead and use Decisive Battle to protect your back row or protect your monsters, sending Titaniclad. Then during the end phase, activate Titaniclad's effect and add a incredible Ecclesia to your hand, or more than likely you're just going to special summon it to the field, because then you're going to go ahead and activate Ecclesia's effect to then add you a Dogmatika punishment. Very interesting interactions. Again, it protects your cards, gets you Ecclesia, which then gets you Dogmatika punishment. Then speaking of unfair cards, we have 3 Solemn Strike, 3 Solemn Judgment, 3 Crackdown, 2 Storming Mirror Force, 1 Skill Drain, 1 Goes and Match, 1 Rivalry, and then 1 There Can Be Only One. So There Can Be Only One states each player can only control 1 monster of each type. So this is also a going second card, because even if your opponent establishes a board and you're going second, you can go ahead and just set this card past turn, and then they have to send every monster they have, aside from 1 monster that has a specific type of their choosing. Same thing for Rivalry of the Warlords. Each player can only control 1 type of monster. Goes and Match, each player can only control 1 attribute of monster. So if your opponent has a dark, a light, earth monster, they had to send 2 of those monsters to the graveyard. Then we have 1 Storming Mirror Force, just one of our only battle protection cards, but it is one of the only cards that can stop if your opponent has a monster that cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. Then of course Skill Drain, your opponent cannot activate any monster effects. We do have 2 Storming Mirror Force, and then 3 Crackdowns. So Crackdown is pretty much a Change of Heart, but it is a trap version of Change of Heart. So when your opponent normal summons anything, you can just go ahead and take the monster, bring it to your side of the field. And then 3 Solemn Judgments, just more cards to protect your back row. And then 3 Solemn Strikes as well. When a monster would be special summoned or a monster effect is activated, pay 1,500 life points, negate the summon or activation if you do destroy that card. So that's it for the main deck. Then just going over the extra deck again, we are running 3 Outer Entity Antis. When you send this card with Dogmatika Punishment pops 1 other card, then activate this in the graveyard and pop another card on their field. Titaniclad, again, when this card is used with Decisive Battle to protect your cards, you send Titaniclad, always send Titaniclad. So that's why we're running 3 of these cards. So you send Titaniclad, protect your back row, protect your monster, then Titaniclad during the end phase can special summon or add you Incredible Ecclesia, which then gets you Dogmatika Punishment. So right now I only have 1 Guru in here, but you are going to want to max out on Guru, so you want to play 3 of these, because when this card is sent to the graveyard, you can then draw a card afterwards. Mirror Jade, just a 3,000 attack monster if you want to use for Dogmatika Punishment, because Dogmatika Punishment, whatever monster you send from your extra deck to destroy one of the opponent's monsters, the attack on the card you're sending has to be equal or higher. So having a 3,000 attack is just important. Then one of the other interactions we have is we also have Tri-Brigade Arms, which has a 3,500 attack. So if you want to send Tri-Brigade Arms to destroy one of their high attack monsters, you can then activate Tri-Brigade Arms to then send your Garura. So not only are you popping a card, this card's effect says send another Wing Beast monster from your extra deck to the graveyard as well. So you get to destroy a card with Tri-Brigade Arms, and then activate his effect to send Garura from your extra deck, and then go ahead and draw a card. And again, you should be running 3 of these. So then we have the Baron Blossom, the Tri-Brigade card. When this card gets sent to the graveyard, you can draw a card and then put 1 card from your hand to the bottom of your deck. So just other utility. The rest are just utility cards. Golden Cloud Beast states, when this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target 1 face-up card your opponent controls, return it to the hand. Then when Pegasus, if we want to decide to go ahead and send this from your extra deck to the graveyard, if another card you control is destroyed by battle or an opponent's card effect, while this card is on the field or in the graveyard, you can banish this card and target 1 card your opponent controls, shuffle it in the deck. Then we have 1 Typhon, just a great going second card, because you can normal summon any of your monsters, then attach Typhon on top of that monster because this states, during the turn or after the turn, your opponent special summon 2 or more monsters from the extra deck. You can XYZ this card by using one monster you control with the highest attack. And then this is also a floodgate as well, because while this XYZ summon monster is on the field, neither player can activate the effects of monsters with 3,000 or more attack. Then once per turn, you can detach one material from this card. So you're more than likely, if you did like normal summon one of these, put this on top of it, you can detach one card, then return one monster from the field to the hand. So you detach this, and then you can go ahead and bounce one of your opponent's cards. Then you have a 2,900 attack monster. I'm going to go ahead and go over a test hand, just showing you what the deck can do. All right, deck is shuffled. Let's see what we got. It's got Stormy Mirror Force, Goes a Match, Pot of Duality, Solemn Strike, and Solemn Judgment. So very typical, since we're running low monsters. We have a full back row and protection for our back row as well. Go ahead and use Pot of Duality. Look at the top 3 cards: Crackdown, Ecclesia, and Skill Drain. So just go ahead and add our Ecclesia. Send this to the graveyard. So we can go ahead, normal summon Ecclesia, activate Ecclesia's effect. Ecclesia is going to go ahead and add us our Dogmatika punishment. So then you have to remember, Ecclesia cannot be destroyed by any monsters that were special summoned from the extra deck. So your opponent has to normal summon a monster with a higher than 1,500 attack. More than likely not going to get there because we have a set 5 and pass right here. First thing our opponent does, if they try and Harpy's Feather Duster, they're more than likely not going to draw the 1 card. We would be able to Solemn Judgment protect it, but either way, more than likely we're going to go ahead and activate our Dogmatika punishment. So they normal summon any monster. So activate Dogmatika punishment. Let's say it's a monster weaker than 1,500. We can go ahead and send our Garura to the extra deck, pop their monster. So Dogmatika punishment has to send a card from the extra deck with attack equal or higher than the monster we're destroying. So let's say the monster has 1,000 attack. We're popping it. Then we're going to go ahead and activate Garura in the graveyard. And since Garura was sent there from the extra deck, we can go ahead and draw a card. So we get Barrier Statue to the hand. Then let's just say they do something else. We can go ahead, Solemn Strike that, Solemn Judgment something else. They're more than likely not going to be able to keep up after that with a pop and 2 negate. So they're more than likely going to pass turn after that. We would then go ahead, draw 1 card. We get Nadir Servant. Okay, so we have a normal summon and we have Nadir Servant. So we more than likely wouldn't have activated Ghost Match yet, or Stormy Mirror first, so we still have some protection. We can go ahead and normal summon Barrier Statue. Now they can't special summon any monsters that aren't water. So we can go ahead, activate Nadir Servant in this state, send 1 monster from your extra deck to the graveyard, then add 1 Dogmatika monster or Fallen of Albaz. So we're going to go ahead, send this from the extra deck, Garura, and that's going to get us a second Incredible Ecclesia. So we have Incredible Ecclesia for follow-up. Then we can go ahead and activate Garura again. Since it was sent to the graveyard, draw a card. That's going to get us Dogmatika punishment. So we have Ecclesia for follow-up. They're not able to special summon. We have Goes and Match. We're going to go ahead and set our Dogmatika punishment. They can't special summon at this point. Let's just say they normal summon a monster with 1,800 attack. At that point, we're going to go ahead and activate our Dogmatika punishment. We can send our Outer Entity Entis. This would go ahead, go to the graveyard, get sent with Dogmatika punishment. It would pop the card. Then if they had a back row set, or if they even had 2 monsters, more than likely, since they can't special summon, they wouldn't have 2 monsters, so they'd only have 1. So you probably wouldn't send Outer Entity. From here, you could probably send Wind Pegasus at Ignister, because then if something happens to one of your monsters while this card is in your graveyard, you can then banish this and bounce one of their cards. So if you want to have defense, you can do that. Or you can send Trebregate Farragut, because this would get sent to the graveyard. Then you could draw a card. You would get Solemn Strike, and then you can put one of them back, so you can kind of mess with your hand. If you didn't want to keep Incredible Ecclesia, you can just get the draw from Farragut, or you can just go ahead, and send Trebregate Arms to the graveyard, pop their monster, then Trebregate Arms can activate in the graveyard, sending your 3rd Garura, and then you would draw a card with Garura and get your Solemn Strike for free. So more than likely, you'd probably just go ahead and send your Trebregate Arms to then send Garura, draw a card. So we were able to plus and pop their monster that had higher attack than our monsters. We still have 2 set trap cards for protection in case something happened. And since they can't special summon, that normal summon with 1,800 pretty much ends their turn. So they pass it to us. We draw Decisive Battle. So we're pretty much set from there, because now we can go ahead and set our other Solemn Strike, normal summon Dogmatika Ecclesia, activate Dogmatika Ecclesia to grab us our 3rd Dogmatika punishment. So we have Goes and Match set, we have Stormy Mirror Force set, we have Solemn Strike set, Decisive Battle is placed face up, and then we go ahead and set our Dogmatika punishment. They would have an empty field since we cleared it with Dogmatika punishment the previous turn, so we'd go ahead and attack for 4,000. So they're down half their life points. If that's not even counting if we attacked the last turn, I forgot about that. We'd go ahead and set our Dogmatika punishment. Since they can't special summon, let's just say they drew another 1800 attack monster. They would normal summon that monster. We would activate Dogmatika punishment once more. From there, I feel like we'd go ahead and just send our Wind Pegasus, pop their monster. They can't special summon since we have Barrier Statue, so they're only allowed that one normal summon. Then, with Wind Pegasus in the graveyard, if another card you control is destroyed by battle or an opponent's card effect while this card is on the field or in the graveyard, you can banish this card, then target one card your opponent controls, shuffle it into the deck. So we have it in the graveyard just as defense in case something happened. If they try to use like Harpy's Feather Duster, we would go ahead and activate our Decisive Battle. That's going to send our Titaniclad to the graveyard. And it pretty much negates the Harpy's Feather Duster. It protects our entire back row. Then during the end phase, we'd go ahead and activate our Titaniclad. And that would go ahead and add our Dogmatika Ecclesia to our hand from the deck. And since we popped their monster, they have an empty field at this point. They're going to pass turn and we go ahead and attack for 4,000 end game. So that concludes the deck profile. Let me know if this is a type of deck or type of style you guys are interested in. I did actually have a question for you guys. If you guys did watch up to this point, I did just start playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Again like 2 months ago. So I am curious, what are the best anti-meta or stun cards that I can either update this deck with? Like what is good against the meta? I know banish trap cards like different dimension ground in here, but I know with Maliss being really popular, you don't really want to banish their cards. So if you guys can just comment and let me know what are the good anti-meta or stun cards to play in this deck, I'd really appreciate it. But I think that's all I got for you guys today, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.